So we're going to continue our applications of arithmetic and geometric sequences to do with finance, and we're going to have a look at depreciation. So depreciation is the loss in value of an item. So this is often used by businesses because when they buy things like machinery, vehicles, computers, etc., and they use them, then they start to deteriorate and they start to lose value. Now, why would a company want to worry about this? Well, quite often because the item loses value, then they can actually claim this as a tax deduction. Now, when it comes to looking at depreciation and calculating this, there are three models that we can actually use. So we can either use straight line or flat rate method, unit cost depreciation, and the reducing balance method. And we're going to look at an example of each of those today. The value of an item after depreciation is often called its book value or written down value, and when it comes time to sell the item, then we say it's been sold for its market value. So let's have a look at example 1. So example 1 is a fairly straightforward one. We've got a surfboard waxing machine, was purchased new for $6,000. The owner depreciates it by $1,000 each year. Find the depreciated value of the machine after 1 year. So it's initially been purchased for $6,000. After 1 year, it's lost $1,000 in value. So it's going to be worth $5,000. After a second year, so after 2 years, it's lost another $1,000 in value. So it's going to be $4,000. And after 3 years, it's lost another $1,000, so it's now going to be worth $3,000. We could also model this as a recursive rule. So we could say let Vn is the book value at the end of the nth year. Write down a recursive rule for the book value of the machine after n years. So we could say that the book value at the end of the next year is going to be the current book value at the previous year, take 1,000. And we'll say that it's going to be V0 is equal to 6,000. Now it's going to be V0 here because V1 would be the book value of the machine at the end of the first year. So in most finance applications, it's going to be V0, especially if we have the idea of an initial value or starting value. In example 2, we've got what's called unit cost depreciation. So unit cost depreciation is when an item loses value for every time it's used. So it could be, for example, for every kilometre a vehicle's driven, or if it was a photocopier, it could be for every photocopy it produces, etc. So for tax purposes, a van purchased for $20,000 depreciates in value by $120 for every 1,000 kilometres it is driven. What will be the book value of the van when it has been driven 50,000 kilometres? Well, we can do this a couple of ways. We can actually look at how much it gets, how much value it loses per kilometre. So we could say depreciation per kilometre, so it's going to lose $120 per 1,000, so it's going to be 120 divided by 1,000, so it's going to lose 0.12 or 12 cents per kilometre. Now, getting our class pad out, so we can go a bit further. We can say what will be the book value of the van when it's been driven 50,000 kilometres. So what's happening here is we're going to start off with the purchase price of 20,000, but the vehicle loses 12 cents per kilometre. So we're going to take off 0.12 times by the amount of kilometres it's been driven. So that can just be done on the class pad. So the vehicle after that time is valued at $14,000.